Hey guys, Matt from soundrolling.com. Got a comment of the video yesterday from Lawrence asking me what I thought about if it's easier to get into freelancing as opposed to kind of 9 to 5 career in sound. Now, I'll basically take this as either would I prefer to go freelance and do freelance work straight off, or would I prefer to kind of intern in a production place and get some experience. I think they're both very good points. They're both obviously they have their pros and cons. So let's go through them. Production companies, the pros are that obviously they're already doing projects. You are then on set a lot. If you're in a kind of smaller place, as I've seen with some of the other agencies and things that I've worked with, or production companies, they grow pretty fast. So that's obviously a plus side. And then you have that kind of security in place if you do a good enough job, and you can kind of go where you need to. You're going to be kind of multidisciplined by the end of it. I guess I would say the cons are probably lack of pay in terms of depending what you're doing. I've seen some people have got in touch asking what I thought about them working on kind of quite big stuff, interning and having actually more responsibility than an intern for like £14,000 a year, which in itself may sound like a lot when you're currently on zero, but it's not really a living kind of wage, especially for in London, and the amount the agency or production company is going to get for you, because they'll no doubt be charging kind of full rate for you. So that's maybe a downside. Another one is if the company is good, then great. If the company is quite bad, then you're kind of locked in for at least a little bit, or you have to keep churning over and kind of reapplying to lots of different production companies, and that process itself can take a very long time. So that's pretty much the only things that put me off, I think, just kind of being pigeonholed. And if you get a great company, then you're going to learn a lot. Kind of like if the camera people go into a camera rental place, it's great to obviously like have hands-on experience with the top gear and be able to fix it, and then have the responsibility to go out. The bad thing is you can then not really get out onto shoots that much because it's a 9 to 5 thing. Whereas maybe if you were a runner for like a production place, maybe you get slightly better. But career progression really depends so much on getting into a good kind of company. So yeah, it's kind of pot luck. So whereas freelancing, the great thing about it in terms of, the great thing about it is obviously once you've built up a really good network, it's the kind of freedom to kind of choose when you work, how much you work, and what you charge and what gear you're going to do next. And you're able to basically adapt yourself to give maximum value to all of your kind of network or clients, thus getting paid more, thus getting a better reputation, thus recording better sound or doing better things. So yeah, and it's very specific. If you are freelancing as a whatever, it's going to be pretty niche in terms of you're going to be a freelancer. Maybe you're a freelance camera person, maybe you're a freelance sound recordist, but in a production company, you would probably just be a general person who would then do everything. So potentially you just have more choice over the types of projects that you do and that kind of direction as well. So I would say which one is easier? I would say short term is probably the production company. Long term, I would argue freelance. Again, depending on where you want to go. Especially for sound, though, lots of people are freelance. Although some people, obviously, if you get a great company, can be brought on and do exactly what they want to do. So I guess if you want complete control over your own destiny in terms of just as much work as you put in, you get that back, all yourself, then the risk and reward of freelance, I think, personally, suits me very, very well. But again, you have to think of your own situation when you start out, not making that much money. So even if, like, for instance, I lived at home, even though it's 500 miles away. So yeah, there's some sacrifices you have to make. But if you can stick at it for kind of 2-3 years, then you pretty much make it. Unless you are like doing 2 projects a year. So Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on all of that. I'll keep this nice and sweet. So, till next time, see you later.